Here we are, chapter section 4.3% of a number. We're beginning with working example number 1. We're going to use mental math to find the percent of a number. So percent of a number is the key here. To begin with, we're going to try using some mental math to find each percent. Question A is asking us to calculate 150% of $5. So we're going to split 150% into two numbers that we can work with fairly easily. It's the same as 100 plus 50. So 100% plus 50% will give us a total of 150%. So 100% of $5. If you have 100% of something, you have all of it. So in this case, it's all of 5. So we're looking at 100% of 5 just being 5. So that's the first part. The second part is the 50%. So 50% of 5. Well, we also know that 50% is half of something. So then, as the cloud up here says, half of 5 means we divide it by 2. So 5 divided by 2. And when you do that, you come up with 2.5. So 100% of 5 is 5. 50% of 5 is 2.5. So then if we know those two numbers, and then we want to combine the 100% and the 50% to get that 150%, then that means we're going to combine our answers. So we're going to combine the 5 with the 2.5 and add them together to get 7.5. So 5 plus 2.5 gives us 7.5. Now, if you go back to the original question, 150% of $5, that's what we've calculated here, this is money. So it's $7.50. So go back, make sure you understand the original question. I had come up with a calculation of 7.5, but going back, I realized, okay, we're dealing with money. I can't just leave it as 7.5. I need a dollar sign, and I also need a second decimal place in my answer. So yeah, that's that there. Let's go to the next slide. Question B. What is 0.1% of $1,000? So we have another strategy that we can go with. We know that 100% of something is the full value. So in that case, 100% of 1,000 is just that. It's 1,000. We know that we can then work towards smaller pieces, as you can see here. We're going from the top down, 100% down to 10%, down to 1%, down to 0.1%. To do that, each step, we're dividing by 10. So take 100%, divide that by 10, you get 10%. Take 10%, divide that by 10 again, that takes us down to 1%. Take that 1%, divide it by 10 again, and we get it down to the 0.1%. So if we can divide our percents by 10, we can actually also divide our values by 10. So 1,000 divided by 10 is 100. So if that's the case, then the second level, 10% of 1,000 is 1,000 divided by 10, which is 100. So that's dividing by 10 once. Now we can go down again and say, okay, well, what's 100 divided by 10? Well, 100 divided by 10 is 10. So that means the next step down here is 10. So 1% of $1,000 is equal to 10. So we're working our way down. Then we can take the next one. Well, what's 10 divided by 10? Well, that's 1. We've divided by 10 again here. So that means that 0.1% of 1,000 is 1. So you can divide your percents by 10. You can also divide your answers by 10. They go down in pairs. So that is another approach that you can take to calculate the percent of something. So we've said that 0.1% of $1,000 is, and I had the answer 1 here, it's $1. We've got a dollar sign there. I threw in the cents as well. Cents weren't indicated in the original question, but just for clarification, I threw that in there as well. All right, question C, 1.5% of $200. So we can start over here. 100% of $200 is, well, 100% of something, it's the whole thing. So it's 200. Then we can go down to 10% by dividing it by 10. So 200 divided by 10 is 20. So then that means 10% of 200 is 20. We can divide everything by 10 again to go from 10% down to 1%. And if we divide 20 by 10, we get 2. So 1% then of 200 is 2. So now we know what 1% is. 1.5%, which is the original question, is a combination of a 1% and a 0.5%. Well, we've already calculated the 1% as being 2. So that's what's here. If we want to know what 0.5% is, then that's half of 1. So that means we're going to take our answer of 2 and we're going to divide that in half as well. So 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1, as shown here. So if 1% is 2, then 0.5% is 1. So we can combine them together. 1% is 2, 0.5% is 1. Add those together to get an answer of 3. So 1.5% of $200 is $3.